Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you how you can donate in a crisis. Let's get into it. Hi there, this is Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. I help people start their nonprofits and raise startup money, but I wanted to create this video for those of you who want to donate to nonprofits, but you're not sure how to. So I'm going to give you some guidance for how to donate, especially when it's in the middle of a crisis, and how to protect yourself as a donor. So for this video, I'm focusing on those natural disasters, those critical events that happen and people kind of get energized and want to help. They want to do some good. And so I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice for how to approach your donation in those times. So the first thing I want you to do is go through a verification process for yourself. So this is for people who want to donate to nonprofits. So let's be clear, because I know some people may not understand how all of this works, but you don't necessarily have to donate to a nonprofit. But when you want to get a tax deduction on your personal taxes, that's when it matters who you donate to and whether or not that organization is actually tax exempt. So I'm talking about in this video when you specifically want to donate to a nonprofit, and specifically when you want the option to have a tax deduction on your personal taxes. Typically, that would be a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I'm keeping it really simple in this video today. So first of all, verify that that nonprofit actually exists. So every nonprofit corporation has to organize in their state. So the state should have a record of the organization. If they have 501c3 status, then the IRS has a record of that organization. Those organizations have to file tax returns every single year. So all of that information is public. And if you'd like to request that information from the organizations, they cannot deny you. So whether you realize it or not, there's a lot of information that you can find out about organizations. But this is in the time of a crisis. Sometimes you don't have the time or weeks to research an organization. So here's some things you can do quickly. You can go to the IRS website just to verify that the organization currently has 501c3 status. And I will put that link below in the description box so you can find it easily. You can also check with your Secretary of State's office in your state to see if that organization is organized in that state, to see whether or not they're in good standing with the state. You can also check with the Attorney General's office, which is typically the office that manages those organizations that ask for donations. They typically have a registration list. 40 states require this, so your Attorney General's office may have a listing of legitimate organizations that have applied to be able to ask for money. But you can also do some other verification. You can check and make sure they have a digital footprint. So you can see if they have social media, you can see if they have a website. You can check and see how long that website has been in existence. You can see how many pages are on the website. How do they describe the work that they do? Do they have names of people on their website? So every nonprofit has to have a board of directors. So who's on their board of directors? Do they have enough people? Is it more than 1 or 2 people? These are some things you can kind of check to make sure the organization is actually doing their due diligence and has good governance practices. When you look at the organization, can you tell that there is a person or a group of people behind the work, or is it really, really vague? Do you see actual people on their social media, or you just see random posts with flyers or information? So these are some ways you can check out to see if the organization is legitimate. And I also want you to be mindful of whatever donate link that you get. So if you go to a nonprofit's website, 9 times out of 10, they'll have a donate button on their website. Just make sure you're tracking where that donate button goes to. Make sure that when you hit the donate button, it still says the same organization's name, that the information matches, that what they said you could give to is listed on that donate page, so there's no inconsistencies. And also just be wary if an organization is just saying, hey, just Cash App me the money and things like that. Now, there are a lot of small organizations that use Cash App because a lot of people use Cash App just for personal expenses. So if they're starting their own organization, that's just their culture. They may just use Cash App, but there are a lot of issues with using Cash App, and if they haven't advanced or done something else, that may be a sign that they're not maybe as organized as they need to be. I am not bashing organizations that have to use apps like that in order to quickly raise money, But if they're only using Cash App, I would be a little wary as a donor. And if all else fails, you can talk to a person and just verify and make sure that they are actually a real organization, to make yourself feel better if you do decide to give and donate that way. But I also recognize that if you're giving a small donation like $10, it may not matter to you. But if you're thinking about giving substantially, these are some things you can think about when you're trying to verify if it's the right organization to give to, especially in a crisis. The second suggestion I would have for you is to find a local organization. So a lot of times when there's this big critical event, there's a natural disaster or something horrible happens. So let's say like the George Floyd murder, people who are not from that local area still are moved and willing to do something, even if they've never been to that area, they don't know the situation very well, but something about it compels them to want to give. That happens all the time when you see people put out GoFundMes, or you see people put out stories on the internet and things like that. So you may be giving to an organization that's across the country or in a community that you've never been to or been exposed to. So in those situations, I would suggest you find a local organization. So I know a lot of times people say give to the Red Cross or give to the Salvation Army, and people have a lot of issues with that. So to make yourself feel better and not have to deal with that, find a local organization that's on the ground, that's close to the issue, that's doing the work. So in order to verify whether or not that organization is the best organization to give to feel like you can trust that, look at what they did before. That is the biggest test that I would give a local organization. What were they talking about before this happened? Because sometimes an organization may get on the bandwagon and they may try to leverage an event to get donations, but they may not be exactly close to the cause or know it very well. And for me as a donor, I want to give to an organization that I know can do the work, that I know can produce results. And so one of the indicators for me is, what were they doing before? What's their past record of doing this kind of work? Have they talked about this before? Do they know what they're talking about when they're getting on social media talking about the issue, or when they're posting updates and things like that? That gives me more confidence than just an organization saying, hey, we're in the local area, we're collecting money for this family or for this cause. So that's not to say that people who don't have a lot of history in working in an issue wouldn't be legitimate. I would just say as a donor, I would feel more comfortable giving to an organization that I know knows the work. So you can look at their past history and see what they've talked about, see what they posted before this happened. And that would give me an indication of whether or not that's the right organization or that's the best organization to give to in that moment. My last piece of advice is, if you don't know who to give to and you can't find a local organization, then find the local community foundation in the area and give to the local community foundation. More times than not, the community foundation is tied to or connected to some kind of large giving effort in a local area. So you may be wondering, well, what is a community foundation? Because a lot of people don't know what they are. So they are actually public foundations that are set up in different locations across the country, and they manage local funds of money. So there are people who have money, there are people who want to donate to different causes, and they manage those portfolios for those people. They manage those investments so that when people are ready to give, they provide advice or they help facilitate the giving in the local community. And they're called community foundations is because they typically give to the local community, or they typically attract customers or people who have money who live in the community. That's the simplest way that I can explain what a community foundation is, but you may not realize how tapped in community foundations are. So when COVID happened in 2020, there was a National Giving Day in May of 2020, because there was a lot of angst about what was going to happen because the world was shutting down. And there was a lot of giving efforts and a big day around, let's all give to support organizations or people who need our help. Community foundations were front and center into that effort, and a lot of the money that was collected through community foundations. So if you're trying to figure out if they are trusted institutions, they are. They've been around for years and years in most communities, and they're very well connected to people who have money and to organizations doing work on the ground. So part of the job of the foundation is to know who's doing work in their area, is to know the nonprofits, is to develop relationships with them, to train them, to help them with capacity support. So they'll know a lot of the nonprofits doing the work. And they'll know small nonprofits, they'll know big nonprofits. They know the spectrum. So if you're not sure who to give to in a time of a crisis, then if all else fails, more than likely you can give to the community foundation, and then they can decide how to disperse that money. Again, they are public institutions. It's not like, you know, it goes into one person's pocket and that one person decides. They are legitimate organizations that have been established for years, and they do this every day. They give out money every day. They give out their own grants anyway. So you can feel more confident in trusting in them in case you don't know who else to give to. So was this information helpful? Please let me know in the comments. And if you have any other suggestions or things that you've done to kind of vet organizations in the time of a crisis, please share in the comments below. If you're curious about nonprofits, or you're like, maybe I want to start one, then you can check out my free nonprofit startup checklist. I'm linking it below. And also, if you just need some resources to do some research, you can go to my website at bossonabudget.com, and there are some resources there for you. Some are free, some are paid, but have at it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.